guys, this is Dr. Callahan for week 11, Monday. I hope you guys had a wonderful 3-day weekend. So go ahead and pause this and get started with your 3 questions. I can't believe that it is November already, but here we are. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. So looking at the question right here, first question I had is, how do you go about graphing a line? And then remember, in order to graph a line, you need to have it in y equals mx plus b form. First, you need to go ahead and find the m and then the b, and then you graph the 2 lines, and then whatever they crisscross or wherever they crisscross, that is your answer. Like for example, with these 2 lines, what they cross is at 1, +2, so that is your answer. And as a quick little review, if you take a look at this right here, these 2 lines are like railroad tracks, so they never get closer or further apart, so they never touched, so your answer is no solution. And then looking at these 2 right here, they do touch, and it's at -2, or excuse me, +2, -2. And with that said, let's go ahead and just jump in with today's stuff. Last time I saw you guys was on a week 10 Thursday, in which case you guys went over central tendencies. Your textbook was for 2.3, number 18 to 26, 42, 55, and 48. There are 18 points total. The points are right there in the little brackets. They vary based on 3 points, the 1 point. So take a look. Pause the video and grade it yourself, please. All right, so today in class, you guys will be needing a color box, scissors, activity templates, and then my list of to-dos, in which case, if you're at home, it's okay. You just need to have 2 separate pieces of paper, so that way you can cut it out and do a few things. This is the breakdown of what we're going to be talking about, so take a look at this. In addition, this is our to-do. All right, to put things into perspective, this week is week 11. Next week is week 12. Your final is going to be week 18. So after this week, we have about 7 weeks remaining until finals. So kind of interesting to see where we are. All right, first thing to have you guys do, and if you're at home, is that you're going to make a cootie catcher. So you're going to be cutting this part out, folding it, and that way you can go ahead and take a look to see how you find the mean, median, mode. If you're not sure what a cootie catcher is, it actually is that little silly thing that you guys used to do when you were like in middle school or elementary school. So this is one that a previous students made on central tendency. So take a look at that. All right, so now what I have you guys do at home is to create your own cootie catcher. So you're going to be creating a cootie catcher either on the following topics that we've discussed so far: box and whisker plot involving the mean, median, or excuse me, the median, upper quartile, lower quartile, lowest and highest number. You can create your cootie catchers with the 4 different areas, focus on 4 levels of measurement, like ordinal, nominal, interval, ratio. Or you could do your own sampling techniques, which is on page 10 of your paper, your guided notes, on simple random techniques, stratify sample, systematic sample, and cluster sample, or the 4 different sampling bias on undercoverage, question bias, etc. And those are on page 11. So you're going to go ahead and grab this and basically make your cootie catcher on any of those topics. All right, so as a quick little reflection, it says variety is the spice of life. Today you learned a variety of vocabulary words, obviously, because that was a quick review. Pick 2 that left or felt really important about today's lesson and explain them. Then tell why you felt they were important. So you can go ahead and write this on a separate piece of paper. All right, now we're going to go ahead and jump into our notes today, which looks like this. It's also on a separate piece of paper. And the back of it looks like this right here. So make sure you guys have that. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at question number 1. So today we're going to talk about interpreting box and whisker plots. Last time I saw you guys, I showed you guys how to make one. So today we're going to do the opposite of it. So question number 1, what was the highest score on the test? Well, the highest score is 102%. That's the highest one. Number 2, what percent of the class scored above a 72? Well, given the fact that 72 is right here and this is a lower quartile, at the median, is at 50%. Up here, you're at 100%. 72 is at 25%. So if you're looking at everything from 25 to 100%, you will have 75%. So 75% of the class scored above a 72. What is the median of the score of the test? Well, the median is a middle number. So it's the middle of the box. So that's 88. What percentage of the class scored between 88 and 96? This part right here, you would have 25%. Question number 5. Do you think this task was too hard for students? Go ahead and explain. I would say no, because if 75% of the students scored above a 72, it looks fairly easy. It's just like majority of the students scored towards the right side, which is generally favorable or in their favor. So I would say it's too easy. Question number 7. What percentage of a sophomore spent more than 60 minutes on the homework per night? So here's a 60% right here. And anybody spending more than that will equate to this part right here, which is going to be the 25% breakdown. Because just remember, at the lower quartile, you're at 25%, here 50%, here 75, and then from 75 to 100%, you still have 25% in between that. Number 8, what is the range of time that the middle 50% of the sophomores spent on their homework per night? So the range of this, the middle 50%, so that's 48. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Middle 50, so 60 minus 20%, so that's going to be 40%. Number 9, how many sophomores do not do homework? Well, that you would not be able to tell because it doesn't actually indicate anything there. So I'm just but can't tell. Number 10, what percent of sophomores spend less than 20 minutes per night on homework? It will be between here to here, which is your 25%. Because it goes from 0 to 25%, so 25%. Question number 11. Actually, question number 11, I just asked you to go ahead and list 3 interesting or 3 new vocabs, so that's fine. Question number 12 says, what percent of sophomores watch TV for at least 15 minutes per night? So here's TV time. 15 minutes is right here. That's within the 25%. At least, so never mind, 25 all the way over here. So that would be 100 minus 25, so 75%. What is the third quartile for the TV time data? Third quartile, so this is your first quartile. So, I mean, the way I kind of remember is like first quartile is like first quarter, so 25%. Second quartile, 2 quarters, 50%. Third quartile, 73 quarters, so 75%. So that will be at 110. "14, is it more common for a sophomore at this high school to spend more than 1 hour on homework or more than 1 hour watching TV? Please explain." I will say it is more common for a sophomore to watch TV because 50% of the students watch greater than 1 hour. And if you look at it right here, majority of them watching TV is, the median is at 60 minutes or more. So because 50% of the students watch greater than 1 hour TV, but only 25% spend greater than 1 hour on homework. Yeah, so only 25% spends 1 hour on homework, so that's unfortunate. All right, question number 15. So, looking at this, you're going to use as true, false, or cannot be determined. Some sophomore didn't watch TV that month. That is true. And you know that because if you go back to this table right here, you do have some that's indicated in the space that did not watch TV. The TV box and whisker graph contains more data than the homework graph. That's a cannot be determined. 25% of sophomores spend between 48 and 60 minutes per night on homework. That's true. 15% of the population, 15% of the sophomore didn't watch TV that month. Well, you can't determine that because we can only determine based on 25, 50, 75% increments. In general, these sophomores spend more time watching TV than doing homework. That you could definitely say it is a true. Oh, and you know what? I did not include the remaining part of it. So number 20, true, false, cannot be determined, and then true. So take a look at that, you guys. All right, you guys, now we're gonna move on. Your second reflection is a snowball effect. Name a cause and effect that you learned today from our notes. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is this foldable. So you're gonna be filling this part out. If you are at home, what you can do is you can go ahead and just take a piece of paper and cut it into 4 little spaces, little pieces, and then we're just gonna fill this part out. Okay, in the front of it, you could put mean, median, mode, and range. Those are the definitions of that. And then on the inside of it, you just need to fill in the blanks and then create an example. So the inside of mine looks like this. It's a little bit difficult to see, but all right. And then your last reflection, think about 2 peas in a pod. What does that mean? So name 2 things from today's lesson that are in central, one in each pea below that are like 2 peas in a pod. Then explain the research on the lines on the right. All right, so then as we move forward towards your lessons, I want you guys to think about your statistical research designs. Okay, that's the project that's been coming up. So for example, what is your question going to be? And there are several that you can use, like are high school students adequately prepared for college when they graduate from high school? Another one could be, how many minutes do high school typically spend watching TVs each week? How many posts do freshmen post on social media weekly? Who will be your targeted audience? What is your sample size? What type of data is it? Can you distinguish if it's a qualitative or quantitative data? Can you classify data with respect to the 4 levels of measurements? And how would you collect your data? How can you identify data collection techniques? And so make sure you guys answer those questions. Oh, and then lastly, and I actually did not include that here, but I'm going to change it right now, is your last question is what inferences can you make from your study? Essentially, what is your conclusion from your study? Okay, so I'm gonna put that. What inferences can you make from your study? And lastly, identify any errors. In the process. All right, so then your exit ticket today is going to be pick one SEL that will help you grow. Like for example, here are the tools to grow. What can help you grow? How do you shine? What strength shines? What we learn shines? What we say do shines? How do you shine? How can you grow? What can you prove? What can you learn? And then clouds. What obstacles are in your way? You could just pick one. All right, you guys, as always, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.